Welcome to Hit the Books Review, Summerslam edition. That's right, we are here. I am your host, Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, is Mikey Manfredi, and we are reviewing SummerSlam from WWE. Mikey, SummerSlam, the greatest part of the summer. You never saw it coming. Did you see this show coming?
The biggest party of the summer. No, this show is actually. I was actually surprised at how sports entertained I was.
Yes,
I didn't see that coming.
I tweeted out somewhere where it was like, "You'll never see praise coming." Who would have guessed it?
A good show.
A good show. I thought this SummerSlam was a really good show.
Good pay-per-view coming.
I thought it was a solid show compared to what else they've put out through the COVID era. I thought this was a very solid show. Last solid pay-per-view they had since Royal Rumble, I would say. Royal Rumble was fairly decent. Or the very least, the things I remember from Royal Rumble are amazing.
I mean, Edge, like.
Yeah, I mean, there we go. But yeah, so thank you for everybody for listening to our review of SummerSlam, whether or not you're listening to it on the podcast feed or on YouTube. Appreciate you listening to us. If you don't know who we are, I'm Ryan Knightsey, and this is, of course, Mikey Manfredi. Mikey, say hello.
Hi, I'm the new AEW champion.
Yes, say it on the video. I think I could hear you picking up the title belt.
You hear this? This is my belt.
Oh my god. What a goddamn mark.
I will be defending against Jon Moxley at the next pay-per-view, not MJF.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, so if you don't know who we are the host of Hit the Books. That is a show that's on this podcast feed or on this YouTube channel or however you're hearing it every single Friday, where we book our own versions of Raw or SmackDown, I should say, or I guess really Raw and SmackDown, I should say. We book our own versions of those shows every single week. We have been doing that for over 2 years, so we are qualified to know what we're talking about, obviously.
And we just released our SummerSlam special, so go see how we booked it.
Yeah, you can see how we booked our own summer version of SummerSlam. But, of course, we want to talk about one of the big 5 pay-per-views. Obviously, it was SummerSlam, coming out of the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome!
In August of 2020.
Can I just say?
What's that?
Don't mind the Thunderdome.
Yeah, so this is...
A lot of people say it's distracting. A lot of people don't like it. I think it brings a little bit of the energy back. I like seeing... even though it's just people's webcams, I think it still helps, you know? It still faces. It's something.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because SummerSlam was your first run-in with the Thunderdome. I watched it on Friday. I think they've... in a weird way, in a kind of a semi-controversial way, they've improved the fan Thunderdome-ness, where they got more interactive. A lot of people don't like the fact that there was a producer on those Zoom calls that was... I don't know if you've seen this video, Mikey, but there was a producer on the video calls that would instruct the fans of like, hey, start clapping and cheering because you're happy right now and all this other stuff.
They wouldn't just let them watch the pay-per-view?
Yeah, because the complaints about the Thunderdome and the fan video calls is that it was basically just people sitting at home watching with no reactions. And that's what I did not like about Friday, and that's what other people didn't like previously. But now, like, they're doing it. I'm totally okay with it. It's kind of controversial on the internet.
It's fine. I think it's fine.
I think it's fine because the whole point of bringing back the fans was to get those cheering and stuff. Whether or not the piped-in noise is one thing, but I want to see a bunch of people putting thumbs down when a heel wins or something.
Like, that's fine with me. Like, I like it. Just adds that. It doesn't like add it like fully, but it just gives a little hint of that something when there's fans, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like the internet liked it.
It makes it feel way less empty.
I feel like the internet liked the Thunderdome improvements up until they were like, oh, producer's telling them how to react. I don't think the producer's telling them... The producer is telling them how to react, but I think... And that's not great, but it's also the first time, and the producer's trying to... The point of it is to try to do this thing. If there's still a producer on those calls, like... a month from now, after we've done all this Thunderdome stuff, that's going to be another issue. or if it's, you know, a Roman Reigns, a past Roman Reigns situation, spoilers, and I guess in a way, a past Roman Reigns situation where like people want to like boo something that they're supposed to cheer, I guess, and the guy's like, "You're happy, cheer," and you know that's one thing, but you know, I want to see that. But yeah, so that's, I mean, the Thunderdome is interesting. I think it adds a little bit more of the atmosphere, especially like.
I like the troll potential of it.
Yes, I love the troll potential. It keeps things exciting for you. It is distracting sometimes on the hard cam. It looks
like Pikachu at SummerSlam was it caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think the visuals of the Thunderdome look better from like side cameras and stuff. The hard cam it just looks like.
It just looks like a big flat wall. There's no sense of depth to it.
Yes, which is ironic because the whole point of it was to add depth, which they screwed up on one angle. Yeah, no, I like the addition of Thunderdome. I think the alternative of having, you know, tired Performance Center people cheering or attempting to cheer, the Thunderdome is way better. So I get why there's the internet backlash, but the whole point was to try to have audience things, and it looks dumb if people are just watching at home. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
as long as this doesn't happen continuously for the next month or so.
I am A-okay with this going on.
Well, speaking of A-okay, let's get into this gosh dang pay-per-view that we both say.
That's about what the pay-per-view was.
I would say, if you had to grade it, I would give it maybe like a B+.
Yeah, B+, B, like B+.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty solid pay-per-view from top bottom.
Agreed.
You know, of what it you know could have been with all of the builds and whatnot, I thought it could have been way worse.
I will say right off the jump, I did miss the pre-show.
That's fine. Well, let's talk about the pre-show real quickly. I can give you my thoughts on it. And it was a match between Apollo Crews and the leader of the Hurt Business, MVP, battling over the United States title. Mikey, you said you didn't see that, but I can tell you what I thought about it. I thought it was a fine match. It was Apollo Crews versus MVP. I was hoping that with Apollo Crews getting the win here, that this might be the end of that little feud, and then MVP and the Hurt Business can spin off into something else. Apollo Crews can spin off into something else. It's a shame that this was the kickoff match, but compared to other matches on this card, it makes sense. But it was fine. I mean, Apollo Crews, I thought could have been better in this. I thought it wasn't his best match that he's had previously. If the feud's not over, then I'm excited to see Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley. I think that would be a better match. But, I'd rather put over Bobby Lashley than MVP in this spot. But, if it was me, Apollo Crews getting the win here, that's fine. Let's end it with MVP. Let's move on to somebody else. Let's keep that United States title match rolling. It was a 6-minute match as well, Mikey, so you can easily at some point in your lifetime watch it on YouTube. It's one of those matches that it's fine. It's that's all it is that it's fine. So
it was okay.
Yeah, I believe I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5 here. It was like a fine match. I like I said, I wish it was better than I thought it would be. But it was still like a decent match to watch to get me through the kickoff.
All right.
Well,
sounds good.
Yeah, there's a little review of the kickoff, but let's get to the actual card here, where we open up SummerSlam proper with the SmackDown Women's title match. Bayley, with, of course, Sasha Banks in their corner, the role model Bayley, defeating Asuka in 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Of course, this is one of Asuka's 2 matches, which we'll talk more about that match obviously later. But Mikey, what did you think of this specific match of Bayley versus Asuka?
I think it was good. I think this match was solid. They both did a good amount of work. They put a great amount of effort in, and I loved it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was really. I thought it was good. I thought it was a pretty good match. I expected more coming from this match for Bayley and Asuka, but then as I was thinking about it after the fact, during like the Sasha Banks match, I was like, oh, it's kind of like when you have like a tournament match and you have 2 tournament matches in the same night. The first match is always not as good as the second match because they're kind of...
you want to save it, yeah.
Exactly. You're kind of saving it for a little bit. But yeah, I thought there were some interesting spots. Obviously, they're sort of built the end there around Sasha Banks helping Bayley to allow Bayley to win.
Taking that hit back, yeah.
Yeah, so good on that sort of storytelling. It was one of those matches where it wasn't really... It was also in terms of like match quality. The match quality was fine, but the whole point of this match was basically to build towards the Asuka Banks match late in the night and continue this sort of storyline. So it wasn't like the culmination of something, but just a continuation of storylines, really.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was really good. I liked how they're basically kicking off. Well, I guess later we'll figure out what goes on between Sasha and Bayley, but I like Sasha coming in and scoring Bayley the win again. It gives you that feeling of like, damn, can Bayley do this without Sasha? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, also there was the whole idea that, coming into this pay-per-view that Bayley had never defeated Asuka before in her god dang life. So, good on, I guess, Bayley for achieving a victory with the help of Sasha Banks. Where do you would like to see Bayley moving forward? I mean, are you expecting the Sasha Banks thing, or are we thinking maybe there's going to be another challenger?
I'm thinking it's going to be the Sasha Banks feud. I think they're going to hold it off until they lose those tag titles, and then once they do, it's gonna happen between Sasha and Bayley, and they're going to feud over that SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah, I guess we'll see more of it as it comes forward. But yeah, I thought it was solid.
I think if anyone's going to dethrone Bayley, it's going to be Sasha.
Yeah, I guess also a lot of the discussion about this match really ties into the match later in the night. So I guess we'll save any other thoughts, any other moments in this match that really surprised you or you enjoyed?
Not that I can remember.
Okay, well then. Well, I gave this match 3 stars. Like I said, I thought it was solid, better than the kickoff show match. The kickoff show? The kickoff show match of Cruz and MVP. That was a solid 3-er.
I also gave this one 3. I thought it was pretty just a solid match.
Okay, well then let's move on down the card, and that was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. It was the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, defending and retaining, I should say, against the team of Andrade and Angel Garza, with, of course, their business manager, Zelina Vega, in the corner in 7 minutes and 49 seconds. Mikey, I know you have not been watching Raw recently, but were you surprised about the storyline about this match?
Yeah. I think I sent out a tweet in the night where I was like, whoa, can somebody update me real quick? Montez Ford got poisoned?
Yeah. Montez Ford, during a match with, I believe, Andrade, suddenly fell ill, and it was revealed a following week or later in the night that he was poisoned, and the whole mystery was who poisoned him.
Incredible.
And at the time, they're feuding with Andrade, Angel Garza, and Vega, and
I'm assuming they put it in his cup.
Yes, they shared backstage footage of Zelina Vega over his cup. We didn't see specifically Vega poisoning him, but we saw the cup. We saw, the cameras from behind Vega. So we saw the cup. We see Vega. The cameras behind Vega. And we see her doing something. And then
I love how Zelina Vega's thought of how are Andrade and Angel going to get these tag titles? Let's kill Montez Ford.
It also goes to say that, Zelina Vega does not believe in her clients.
Yeah, right? The only way they're going to win is if one of them dies.
If we murder one of the Profits...
They can't defend the tag titles if it's only one person.
Exactly. It's going to be...
There's no team to tag. Where is the tag team?
Yeah, it's sort of, I guess, ridiculous in that sense. But it was also before and after that video came out, Zelina Vega was denying doing it. Everyone was like, oh, we're pretty certain it was Zelina Vega.
She still was at SummerSlam, I believe, right?
Yeah, but there was still video evidence of her doing something with the cup. I don't know why she's still denying it. The storyline is already there.
I have no idea. I didn't even know he got poisoned until just now.
Yeah,
until yesterday. I was like, poisoned?
Yes, poisoned.
What is it? Are we trying to kill a medieval king? What?
And then Angel Garza, his thing is that he's flirting and romancing Charlie Caruso.
Mm-hmm.
So it's real levels of soap opera over here with love and poisonings.
Lots of drama.
And family drama with Bianca Belair getting involved.
Lots of drama from this feud. Honestly, though, I will say this match made me realize that I think the tag team division in general just needs something. Because, not gonna lie, I'm just on it, like right now, you know?
I mean, that's fair.
I feel like it's just the same 4 teams fighting over and over and over again, you know?
Yes, it definitely feels like we've had this match. I don't feel like we've had this match for a while. I mean, what was the last pay-per-view before SummerSlam? Was that Extreme Rules?
I just feel like I keep seeing the same tag teams pop up in headlines over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, can we maybe try to get some new ones or something? Just change it up a little bit or something? Like, I don't know.
These are all fair concerns. I believe Extreme Rules, the horror show at Extreme Rules, excuse me. God, right. I can't believe we did that. Did they even defend the Raw Tag Team Championships? No, they did not. Andrade and Garza versus Street Profits have sort of been feuding for a long time. And I feel like this is over, but at the same time, like, the fact that Vega was still denying poisoning Dawkins and Ford doesn't really feel like it's over. But also now that, like, it's Andrade and Garza lost, it's like, okay, well then where do they go? Who's the next heel team? Heel Team 6.
Street Profits.
Can we make a tag team called Heel Team 6 or like a stable?
There would have to be 6 of them, and that's a lot in this day and age.
Heel Team 6 is a great indie stable.
That's true. I can see it.
You can use that. People in the world, you can use that.
You can use that. Courtesy of us. If you have 6 indie wrestler friends and you guys want to start a stable, you got it.
You can use Heel Team 6. That is totally fine, and I think it's warranted. But yeah, generally, I thought this match was fine. It was weird.
Heel Team 6, but they're the biggest babyface faction in the company.
Yeah, it's what is it? It's Warhorse, Alley Cat, Effie, Danhausen.
That's 4.
Dan the Dad, and who's the other guy? It's probably some other dude. Throw them in there. I don't remember who they are.
Flawless.
But yeah, I think this match was like fairly good. I think it was, I gave it 3 stars as well. I thought it was just as fine as Bayley versus Asuka. I thought it was weird that because she was part of the storyline a little bit. Thought it was weird that Bianca Belair wasn't there as sort of also like a deterrent against Zelina Vega. Since she was sort of involved in the storyline, so that was weird. But I guess at the very least, I'm glad that hopefully this is over and we're moving on to something else. But like you said, like, I don't know. We already did the Viking Raiders,
That wasn't even a match.
That was awful. That was atrocious to watch. I gave that a 0-star rating. It wasn't until this year where I was like, I like Mikey, when I was doing my, I have that like the Google Sheets notebook page for me. This is like the first year where I actively were putting in 0-star matches. When I was doing it, I was like, I won't do 0 stars. I'll just do like a 1/4 star or whatever. And this year,
and then you saw that match, and we're like, well, never mind.
I saw that match. I saw the swamp fight. It's like I'm getting 0 stars out here.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm getting harsh in 2020 apparently.
Apparently.
What did Angel Garza call us recently? The unhappiness era of fans. Did you see that? God, Angel Garza complaining about fans. No one's ever complained about Angel Garza. I think he does a good job. And then all of a sudden he's like, we're in the unhappiness era. What are you talking about, Garza? Jeez. Anyways.
All right, let's move on.
Anyways, any more thoughts on this match? I gave it 3 stars, Mikey.
I gave it 3 also. It was just a fine match.
Okay, well, let's keep the ball rolling. And that was a barn burner of a match, wasn't it? A Mandy Rose defeating Sonya Deville in 10 minutes and 1 second. And a no disqualification, loser leaves WWE. Of course, this match originally was supposed to be a hair versus hair match. But then, due to outside incidents, mainly an attempted kidnapping, they sort of adjusted course. Apparently, the hair versus hair match stipulation got corrected when Sonya's lawyer was probably like, it would be a bad look if you showed up in court suddenly with no hair.
That's fair.
Which is a fair point. So they adjusted that, and of course Sonya Deville loses, so she's gone from WWE seemingly.
Yes, probably taking a break, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, much deserved break.
Yeah.
I think with what's happening, she deserves to step out of the spotlight a little bit.
I think that was a good stipulation to cut it to, or like switch it to last minute, just so Sonya could do her thing for a while, and stay off of TV.
Yeah, I think it was a really good stipulation choice.
I'm sure she'll be back though.
I'm sure she'll be back. I like the idea, and I feel like you wouldn't be surprised seeing this. And dumb, but I like the idea of Mandy Rose somehow convincing Otis to give up his briefcase or use his briefcase to get Sonya her job back.
What, you don't think Otis is going to use his briefcase on the Fiend or Roman Reigns
or Braun Strowman?
No.
Or if the draft comes around on Drew McIntyre or Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton?
Come on, you don't think Otis can beat those guys with a briefcase?
Do you think when Otis won that, they had any idea what to do with him?
Absolutely fucking not. No way they planned that far ahead. They're going to be like, let's give it to Otis. It'll be a funny pop. And then they're like, okay, he has it. Now what? And they're like, what
do we do with this? He has the briefcase. What do we do with it?
Exactly. Otis got to where Otis's goal was Mandy, and he got that. Now what?
Yeah, now we'll give him another thing that he has.
Otis should have not gotten Mandy and then cashed in the briefcase.
I guess we should say that Mandy Rose is not a prize in this. I hope that she is our own individual.
Not. Absolutely not.
That loves Otis as well. But yeah, I mean, I thought of the match itself. What did you think of this, Mikey?
I thought it was good. I liked it. It was. I got into it more than I thought I was going to.
This is honestly the match that I was most hyped for going into the pay-per-view, because I thought the story of this, of this build up into the match, I thought was very solid. And then even with the, slight pivot in stipulation, I thought Mandy and Sonya cut great promos last Friday to, in that video package where Sonya was just on fire and had a lot to get off her chest. Mm-hmm. And I thought she did great. I thought it was, and I think that's also a point to make about us. No matter what we think of the match, these two women have the utmost, should have from everybody the utmost respect. I mean, of the week that they both had, they showed up to work for 2 nights and did their job. Despite attempting kidnapping, they were both in the home, and that's just the balls, the confidence, what's the word? Just the professionalism of each of these women is just outstanding, and you have to throw it up to them. Yeah,
for sure. It was a really great match that I didn't expect would come out of them after what happened. I thought they might be a little kind of not really concerned about the match at that point, but I think they both put on an awesome show still.
There was a couple flops. I mean, Mandy did have a couple troubles with the table, which is also weird that she set up the table just to slide a chair.
I would say she set up the table and then didn't use it.
Yeah. I do also like sometimes in wrestling matches when they set up Chekhov's gun and just never use it.
Yeah.
They set up the table and just this is all, we're not going to break anyone through it.
I'm a little upset though, because I was like, ooh, there's going to be a table spot in this match? Nice. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I felt like this match should have been longer too. It was only 10 minutes. It wasn't the shortest match on the card, but it was the second shortest match on the card. I sort of felt like it'd be longer. I don't know. I thought it was a good match. The reason I bring up that Otis using the briefcase to get Sonya her contract back, I think it's a way to get Sonya back on the show. eventually when they're ready. But also,
and a way to get Otis to get rid of the briefcase because they have no idea what they're gonna do with it.
Also true. But also, like, Mandy Rose, her promo on Friday was that she wanted to put this whole thing behind them and move on. So I think, like, using Otis's briefcase to somehow find a way to get Sonya her title or her contract back with WWE shows that Sonya and Mandy can become a team again and all this other stuff. I do think heel Sonya is great, but maybe that's a way to bring her back. I don't know. WWE has sort of pivoted into these sort of these soap opera storylines. So I just thinking of the best soap opera-y storyline possible.
That's fair. I do like that idea though. It does bring the idea of Fire and Desire back, and it gets the briefcase off of Otis. Because although I would like to see Otis use the briefcase on Drew McIntyre or The Fiend or Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar at some point, because goddamn, that would be funny.
It would be hilarious. I thought this match was fine. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. I thought it was fine. There was a couple messes here and there. I wasn't too hot on this match. I mean, my expectations were a little too high. But also, like I said, everything goes out the door because the fact that these two women were able to show up for work, get the job done, despite the horrendous week that they've had. Literally all the props in the world goes out to them.
Absolutely. I also gave this match a 3 actually instead of a 2.5. I liked it.
Mikey, the 3-star general over here.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it going. This next match was a street fight. Jesus Christ, Ryan. What is it? The horror show at Extreme Rules? Street fight between Seth Rollins and the debuting Dominik Mysterio, who recently signed WWE Superstar, signed his first ever match against Seth Rollins in a street fight in 22 minutes, 35 seconds. Seth Rollins getting the win here. Mikey, thoughts on this match? Thoughts on Dominik's attire? Thoughts on Dominik's debut?
I thought Dominik did great. I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was I was surprised by how much I actually enjoyed the match. I thought it was going to be like a little bit of a mess, but I mean, of course there was some botches here and there, but I kind of expected that, so I was fine with it. I like the fact that it was a street fight. You got to give Dominik props for taking that absolute beating with a kendo stick. That's wild to me. Just someone that new, just absolutely taking that beating was unreal. And I think he put on a great show, and I was definitely into it. I definitely fell for like the little moments of hope he had. I definitely was like, oh shit, he might do it. And then when he lost, I was like, okay, it makes sense, but they almost got me.
They almost got you on that swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like you said, I thought this was probably, no, it wasn't the best match on the card, but it was up there. I think it was my second favorite match on the entire card. I thought it was great. It didn't feel like, I said it's 22 minutes. It was definitely the longest match on the card, but it didn't feel like 22 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was constantly moving, constantly something new, and not only was it the fact that like this there were so many things that were like happening that made you like remember, like keep you motivated and paying attention. The idea of it just being Dominik, so then you can always just cut to Rey Mysterio knowing that he can see his son in pain or whatever, and that's something. Or Rollins being like, just the absolute ass during this match.
I will say the gear in this match was on point from both people.
Did you like Dominik's gear?
I did. I didn't think it was bad.
I did not enjoy it.
You didn't like it? I thought it was fine.
I thought it was like Ricochet light. First thing,
I didn't mind it. I thought it was nice looking.
First things first is I like the pants. The problem is the hoodie. You got it, Dominik. You gotta cut.
The hood you can cut, but like the rest of it was fine.
I get that Dominik does not have a 6-pack yet, which is weird to say about a child. Well, he's not a child anymore. How old is Dominik?
I don't know.
Dominik Mysterio. I guess I can just look. I have it pulled up here on Cage Match. Why don't I just look it up? He is 23, so he's not a child. He's younger than us. But I get that he doesn't have like a six pack or anything, but like still, just like take off the shirt part, or at least cut the hoodie. Like he didn't wear it on his entrance, and it was just an annoyance to me and him the entire match. So cut the hoodie.
Yeah, I think it was good, but if you cut the hoodie, it's great.
Yes, yeah, I have to see it, but
I all around though. I liked it. I liked the DM on the back for that. I thought that was fun. That was funny because it could be construed as like, "Yo, DM me."
Yeah, hit him with the DM. And that's
slide him in DMs.
That's just him doing a super kick.
Yeah. That's what he calls it. That's what he calls his finishing, just sliding into the DMs.
Oh, instead of this, no, that's he does the 619, but calls it the slide into the DMs or something, some shit.
He does but he does the 619 on the apron because he slides.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. It's even better, even better. I approve. But yeah, I thought this match was really good. Like I said, it was the longest match on the card, but never felt long. It was constantly things happening. It was the perfect amount of like. Seth Rollins is sometimes can be really bad at melodrama, but here I thought it was really well done. Really well done at playing the heel here. Since Payback is next week, I imagine we're going to get Rollins versus Mysterio next week, or maybe a tag match between the four members of this team. But yeah, honestly, for a debut, I thought Dominik not only was way better than Pat McAfee, but I think he really shined. I think his
Frog Splash wasn't half bad.
Frog Splash wasn't half that bad. There was like you said, there was a couple of things that were like okay, but you can easily chalk it up to nerves. Obviously, we have to see another match. But I thought honestly, I was not expecting much based on his promos and charisma and whatnot. But he was able to. He's
new. There's going to be some growing pains, obviously. There's going to be some stuff he's not great at that he's got to work on. Every new superstar has that. So I feel like if they are signing him like seriously, and he's going to stick around, I think if he works on it, he could be something special.
He is signed seriously, Mikey. He had a contract signing against Seth Rollins that made not only this match official, but his WWE superstar status official. And we all know that contract signings are legit.
Yep, 100%.
Honestly, yes. So I think if you keep Dominik, have Rey Mysterio be sort of like his managerial dad partner type. Keep him
his
with
manager,
him.
His manager dad tag team partner.
Exactly. Basically, someone that can cut the promos for him. For the most part, I think that's going to work up until the moment where you can have Dominik turn heel on his dad or some nonsense.
The newest teen novel, Dominik Mysterio in my tag team partner manager dad.
I kept looking at Mysterio and being like, man, he's pulling off a good Shibata look. He's got the white wrist tape. I was like, man, he's like a coach over there. He looked like a soccer.
About how Mysterio's mask had like Gucci, Louis Vuitton.
Oh my god, yeah, the family.
Like, damn Mysterio,
family arrives.
Get it, flexing on us. All right,
flexing hard. It was like Rey Mysterio was like any soccer dad out there. He's got he doesn't need the wrist tape, but he's wearing it.
It's true. He was like an he was like the dad who wanted to be the coach but couldn't be, so he goes to every game and does like sideline coaching, and the actual coach is like, hey, can you not
put my son in the game?
Get my son off the bench.
It's like that's all he's there for.
And then Dominik scores and he like runs on the field and he's like, yeah, like the game isn't over yet.
But I think some of the positives of Dominik are that I think he, despite limited mic ability, I think he sells very well. And he was able to do obviously a lot of lucha libre moves.
I feel like selling the kendo stick shots isn't hard though, because those look like they hurt for real.
And he took a decent number of them a couple weeks ago. A lot of those. So he knows how to sell it.
I would say based on those bruises, that probably hurts like a lot. So.
That's like the argument with like New Japan and their dojo is like the reason that they're so good at selling is because they probably took a lot of chops and whatnot.
They're so good at selling because they're in real pain.
Yeah, no. The reason that all the young lions in New Japan have like tree trunk thighs is because just like one day of working out is just squats, just hundreds of squats all day. Like that's the kind of training that I want to see. I want Mysterio to be like be Shibata to Dominik. I want him to give him the New Japan young lion treatment, where they just hit him with kendo sticks.
Dominik leaves WWE for a little while, goes to Japan.
I would be fine with that. Get him in there. Get him young lion.
Dominik NJPW and the young lions.
Put him on NJPW strong. Get him to fight Jay White. Get him to fight Kenta.
He comes back with a vengeance for Seth Rollins and completely different.
Give me Dominik Mysterio versus David Finlay with the dads in the corner. Rey Mysterio and Fit Finlay in the corner. Oh, that's what I want to see. But yeah, I thought this match was really, really good. I gave it 3.5 stars. When I saw that, I was like, I feel like this is too high, but I really enjoyed this match. So yeah, 3.5 stars for me, buddy.
Yeah, I gave this one a 3 3/4 stars. I was sports entertained.
I was really expecting you to be like,
I don't think it was that 4, but it was pretty good.
I was really expecting you to be like, yeah, I give it 4 stars, and I'm like, oh no, 3 stars. I'm like, Mikey, and again, 3 stars.
No, like I gave this one a little bit over 3 stars because I was sports entertained, but I don't think it was a 4-star match.
That's fair. The 4-star, you feel 4-star matches, like
you can feel. Yeah, those matches you can feel.
Like you can really feel it. Let's move on to the next match, which was the Raw.
Speaking of 4-star matches,
there we go. Raw Women's Title. Asuka defeating Sasha Banks with Bayley. Actually, I would say with not Bayley because Bayley kind of, like you called it, kind of didn't really do too much to really help. But
Sasha Banks with Bayley.
Exactly. Asuka gets the title. Is the new Raw Women's Champion. Mikey, thoughts on this match?
This match was great. Sasha and Asuka put on an awesome match. I loved it, and I loved the storyline afterwards. Where instead of taking the hip attack like Sasha did, Bayley was like, "Nope," and moved out of the way, which gave Asuka the opening to hit the Asuka lock and tap Sasha out. Ended up winning the match, getting that title off of Sasha, which sucks because I would rather have her gotten off of Bayley. But here we are. I guess they're going to try to launch this Bayley Sasha feud coming up for that SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really, really, really good. I thought Asuka and Sasha Banks showed up in this match.
I had high expectations for Sasha and Asuka, and they delivered.
That's good. Like I said, I think some moments that really stood out to me were that. Oh my God,
Are you going to talk about the flipping powerbomb off the apron?
Exactly. Yes, the cartwheel into the powerbomb off the apron and just the loudest thud coming from Asuka's neck.
See Asuka's tweet after that?
What was her tweet?
The WWE SummerSlam Twitter tweeted like the gif of Asuka's head like slamming into the ground and the thud. Mm-hmm. And then Asuka replied, "That's perfectly fine. My body hurts, but there is no head damage. It looks like I'm hitting my head, but no problem because I'm supporting it with my neck." And then a little like emoji.
I love Asuka.
She's like, "Oh, it was fine. I was okay."
Did you see her photos after this match where she's posing with the belt as a cup of ramen noodles?
Yes.
I love Asuka. She's great.
Kana-chan TV, give me all of it.
She's great, but when that happened in the match, that thud.
Oh my God! I saw that and I was like, oh.
Same. I was like, oh no, and like Jesse turned to me, I was like, what? I was like, you have to watch this replay. It was
Jesus, yeah, that was
brutal.
That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. That was absolutely insane. I will say, I think this was match of the night for me.
Same. This was easily match of the night. I think Asuka did a lot of good work here, especially being the second match of the night for her. Solid. She was like, her game tactic here was submissions. She, constantly going for those leg bars and whatnot. I love that spot where Asuka had Banks in the electric chair position, threw her down into a face buster. Face buster? I don't know if that's the right term, but whatever. Face buster. And as she does that, she grabs Banks's leg and turns it into a leg bar or whatever the hell it's called. Leg hook. I think
a knee bar?
Knee bar, there it is. Turns it into a knee bar as she's throwing Sasha Banks down. I thought that was a great spot. I rave so much about that spot. I love that spot specifically so much. I thought this match was really, really good. I cannot praise it enough. I thought it was a really good match of the night easily. I don't know. For some reason, I wasn't expecting much, but this match really stunned me. And Banks and Bayley, and I would say also maybe Asuka, hopefully, with Baszler already saying that she's got next for the Raw Women's title, that means Asuka, Baszler, probably throwing Nia Jax as well in there. I like all that stuff happening. Probably Bayley and Banks coming up. Maybe Naomi is in there as well somewhere. We'll see. Banks and Bayley have been doing great work in this COVID era, and I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah, me too.
I gave this match 3 3/4. I wasn't quite there on 4. I was very close. I was teetering on it, but I was like, wasn't a 4. I gave it 3 3/4.
I did get to the 4 on this one. I gave this one a 4 meatballs out of 5.
That's what I thought, Mikey. For some reason, I was like, there was something that was holding me back, and I don't know what it was. Like you said, you almost had to feel a 4, and I didn't exactly feel the 4 here. But it was my match tonight.
I liked it a lot. And then I think after that too, it made me want to go back and watch some old. I think I ended up watching after SummerSlam. I went back and watched Bayley Sasha at NXT Brooklyn.
Oh, nice! That's a match I still haven't seen actually.
What a match, dude!
I gotta watch that. Well, let's move on to the next match, and it was Drew McIntyre defeating and retaining his title against Randy Orton, that title being the WWE Championship, in 20 minutes and 35 seconds with a backslide. A lot of controversial people complaining about that backslide online. Mikey, what were your thoughts about it?
I thought the match, solid. I liked the match a lot throughout the whole thing. The end did kind of... was kind of for me, but I guess they want to keep this feud going a little bit, which is fine. But I do wish it ended more decisively than a backslide for Drew McIntyre. But you get what you get.
Yeah, it was one of those, and you want it to be a more decisive ending, but to me, it's obvious that the reason they're doing that is, one, Randy Orton's their top heel, and they're going to make a little bit of a chase out of this, I think, with Randy Orton. So we need to protect Orton a little bit, but make sure he gets a win that isn't just like a cheap sort of win. I mean, a backside's still a pin, so there's that, I guess.
A win's a win.
A win's a win. And Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, so we have to also protect McIntyre. It makes sense. It makes sense for him to win the match. I can see why they went with this decision. I was fine with it. I wasn't as meh on it as you are, Mikey, but I thought it was fine. I think it was a well-worked match. Again, it was one of those things, at this point in the show, everyone on Twitter, especially me, were just sort of like, man, this show is pretty good.
Yeah.
This show is pretty good. I thought this match was pretty good.
No, I mean, all around this match was good. I just didn't like the way it ended, but otherwise I thought it was fine. I was into it. I watched. I wasn't actively hating it.
Yeah. I'm very because there isn't a definitive thing. It makes me really realize that we're gonna do a little chase here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna make another match at Payback for this title. Maybe not, but maybe something. Who knows? I don't really know what Payback is and why we're doing it. That's besides the point. So yeah, I think Randy Orton has more left in the tank. I think he's did a good job in this match, being that sort of not really chicken shit heel, but sort of just mind game Orton. I think mind game Orton is the best that he's ever been. When he's just out there as a dude, he's nothing. But when he's playing, doing the mind games,
I've been calling it Legend Killer 2.0.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
because he's back, because he's kind of back on that train too. Like he took out Ric Flair, he took out Christian. He's back kind of like on the Legend Killer gimmick, but like harder. He's like leaning harder into it.
When do we know where or how long Edge will be out with that tricep injury?
I do not.
I'm gonna look it up real quickly, because at what point does Edge get involved in this match, in these sort of things? Because at some point that Randy Orton is going to go for a punt, and then Edge is going to like come out and save Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Let's see. Looking up now. A standard recovery time for surgery for a torn tricep muscle would place his return anywhere from the late fall to winter. So that's like Survivor Series, maybe. At the earliest Survivor Series.
At the earliest Survivor Series, yikes.
Assuming he doesn't have a miraculous recovery. You roll the randomizer on that one. But okay, so we got to push this out until November. So we have a couple pay-per-views. I think it's possible. Maybe you do some nonsense with Ric Flair or some other legend, or Triple H gets involved in this feud somehow because it's Triple H.
Somehow because it's Triple H.
Yeah, I think there's something to do there. I think there's definitely something to do there. And I like it. I like Randy Orton as the top heel on Raw. I think it suits him well. McIntyre, I think, is he a great foil for McIntyre? Not necessarily, but I think, because I also think McIntyre works better as a heel. But I think for what the cards they have at their disposal, I think it works the best. I also don't like who's the next biggest baby face that they have, and sort of like who knows, Keith Lee, I guess, coming up.
Yeah, that would be cool. Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre.
Then Keith Lee gets involved in this whole feud. That'd be great. Then we get, yeah, that's what I want to see. But I thought this match was like I said, pretty good. 3.5 stars. There wasn't like really spots that I can really distinctly remember. It was just well worked, well paced match, top down. I just greatly enjoyed it. Like I said, there was nothing like I truly remembered, and I was someone that was okay with the backslide. So unlike other people, unlike you, Mikey, I was okay with that backslide. What was your star rating?
I gave this one 3.5. I thought it was solid. I liked it a lot. Like I said, the backslide kind of put it. It didn't completely ruin the match for me. It just kind of was left a bad taste in my mouth, I guess.
If it was McIntyre getting the definitive victory, hitting him the Claymore, getting the win on Randy Orton, would you have gone for?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, there we go, folks. Let's move into the main event, and it was for the Universal Championship in a Falls Count Anywhere match where we were able to see the gorilla position for some weird reason. It was The Fiend Bray Wyatt defeating Braun Strowman and becoming the new Universal Champion. Mikey, thoughts on this match?
I thought it was fine. It wasn't like fantastic. It wasn't like amazing. But I didn't really expect it to be like an amazing 5-star banger from Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. But it was fine. It did its job.
Yeah, I thought this match was, like you said, I think it was fine. I think it was good. I'm not like, it wasn't like appalled by it than from most people that appeared online. But
I did like Strowman trying to exposing the ring.
I agree. I think it was like the best match that Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman could have with one another, if that makes sense. I think, I don't, especially with the Fiend character, I think it was the best match that they could have done between the two of them. And, I don't necessarily, now with, we'll get to the ending of the match as well, but, the match itself I thought was fairly decent. I thought it was fairly good. I think Braun worked hard. I think Braun worked really hard. I think Bray Wyatt, was doing a little bit of his tricks. It was weird again, like kind of like before. There was no Alexa Bliss in this match, even though she was part of the whole build. If you're building to a thing, it feels like the people that were involved in the build should be there at the end. Where does Braun Strowman go from here? I don't know. Maybe, the Fiend uses him like as a puppet or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Braun Strowman moving forward. I do love the ending of the match, which I guess we should talk about now. And that was, of course, the thing that we never saw coming. And that was Roman Reigns returning mid-COVID era with brand new veneers and a brand new hot off the press t-shirt.
And vestless.
His sleeves are no more. Well, I guess he never had sleeves on the first one. Dang it.
His vest is no more. His chest has been bared.
That works better. Vests don't even have sleeves. I don't even know why I thought about that.
Roman Reigns is now weak to bullets again.
So the conversation right now online is whether or not Roman's a heel. Where do you fall on that line?
I'm not exactly completely like, yep, he's a heel 100% because he was beating down on two heels.
Well, yes. Well, to be fair, Bray Wyatt in this match was the babyface.
Yeah, but
yes, but it's the Fiend.
Bray Wyatt is a babyface, but the Fiend is not to me. That's what my brain is saying.
Okay.
So he was beating up on the Fiend and Braun Strowman, two monster characters. So maybe he's not completely heel, but he did show the aggression of a heel in that beatdown. He busted out the chair. Or the kendo, like he had some sort of weapon. I remember to beat down Strowman with. Yeah, like he got pretty aggressive. So like, I don't think it's I need to see more before I say, yep, he's heel now. But I think it's definitely leaning in that direction for sure.
I also think like with the state of SmackDown, I think he can't be a heel because Braun definitely has turned heel. And may become a monster again, which I think is perfect. Monster Braun versus Roman Reigns was like Roman's feud. Like Roman's defining rivalry is against Braun Strowman. So I think having that heel Braun works really well. Then we're gonna throw in.
I liked when he was beating down Braun, and he's like, "You're nothing without me, Braun."
Which is exactly true. He's nothing. He ever since Braun diverted from Roman Reigns and did his own shtick, he was nothing. The two, they're just perfect foils for one another in such a weird way. Despite just like they just have great chemistry, and I just love seeing them fight. Then we're gonna throw in a little bit of the spice of the Fiend, and then we're gonna throw in some country ham, and we're gonna mix this pot together to get a nice new Universal Champion from Otis. No, I mean it's. I'm excited to see where this goes.
You had a little bit of Fiend, you had a little bit of Braun Strowman, you had a little bit of Roman Reigns, and a dash of Universal title. And what comes out of the pot? Otis.
Oh yeah.
A big, beautiful ham that is Otis.
I'm excited for this. Am I happy that Roman's back? No. Ultimately. COVID's not gone, especially in Florida. And that's,
for me, it was like, yeah, COVID's not gone, but clearly he made the choice to come back.
100%. 100%.
So clearly, if I think for me, in my head, it's not great, but if he's okay with it, then I'm more okay with it, That's
fair. If he's comfortable, and obviously he felt comfortable, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like if he's comfortable with it, then I also feel a little more comfortable with it, and I'm okay, and I'm more okay with it.
If WWE, is of course doing their, social distancing at work and wearing mask policy, hopefully, and they are doing testing on site, I think this is a great way for Roman. And if he feels comfortable with it, he feels comfortable with it. He understands what is happening with that. So yeah, like you're right. You are right, Mikey. If he feels comfortable, he feels comfortable. I kind of wish he didn't return just to continue sticking to them and be like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this during COVID. I don't feel comfortable. But you're right. If he does feel comfortable, he does feel comfortable. Based on his actions and his T-shirt, some people feel that Roman Reigns may be aligned with Retribution, that new kind of Antifa stable kind of invasion thing that's been happening on Raw and SmackDown in recent weeks, Mikey, and you saw a video package for it. Do you think he's the leader of Retribution?
I could see that being an angle. I don't know if it is, but I could definitely see it being like the big angle.
Roman. So what you're saying is that Roman could be turning heel and leading a stable of his own, of maybe say like 4 people. Maybe throw in a 5th lady.
Maybe.
Where have I heard this idea before?
I don't know. Could it be maybe his cousins, the Usos?
I'm Nostradamus. I'm the greatest booker of this lifetime, and I'm better than Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
you
see the future.
More people need to listen to Hit the Books because the show has become more and more just predicting the future,
just like by accident.
No, on purpose. Like I said, I'm Nostradamus. You think Nostradamus was like, I don't know, the comet will happen 72 years from now? No, he knew. Like me, genius of the sky, Ryan Knightsey. Get out of here, EO.
Genius.
I'm taking the title.
Genius of the pen.
Yes, I'm the Nostradamus of booking. That'll be my tag. That's my title. You're formerly the Taco Bell kid. I'm the Nostradamus of booking. There's probably a better name for that.
There you go, Ryan. You now have your nickname for Hit the Books.
I'll take it. There's probably a better nickname there somewhere, but yeah, I thought this match was good. Like I said, I was up on it a lot more than it sounds like you were, and the internet was. I mean, on Grapple, which is a sort of a crowd sourcing review site for matches, it has currently 116 ratings. This match has a 1.91, and out of 61 votes on Cage Match, this match has a 4.94 out of 10. So people did not quite enjoy this match as opposed to other matches. I gave this 3 1/4. Mikey, where were you sitting on it?
Same thing, 3 1/4.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Indeed.
We both enjoy. I did not think you enjoyed this match that much.
I like I said, it was good. It was good, and it got the job done.
I guess that's fair. That is what it did. Got the job done. Roman Reigns has returned. During this whole review, Mikey, I've been looking at. I've been compiling our answers for our thing to give like just an average number for our reviews, like for our like thoughts on the pay-per-view. So Grapple, so the audience at home basically gave this out of a 5-star scale 2.9. I was a little higher on it at a 3.16, and you were highest at 3.36.
Okay.
So I don't know, that doesn't really work in the grade scale, but you were definitely pretty. You thought if in my brain a 3 is a solid good, 3.25 is like pretty good, 3.5 is really good.
It was a perfectly good pay-per-view.
Yes, I think that agree. It was a lot better than I think everyone in the world was sort of expecting based on previous Raw and SmackDowns. So I'm at the very least happy that we got something enjoyable. And I'm back. They got me. I'll be returning on Payback. I won't be returning. Roman Reigns returned on SummerSlam. I'm not returning at Payback. Just to be clear. But I'm excited for that upcoming
Ryan making his Payback debut.
Of course. Well, that's naturally what I have to do next. I did predict it. I am the Nostradamus of booking, so I did predict it, so it does mean it comes true. I'll be debuting at Payback. I'll be challenging. It's gonna be you and me challenging.
Big reveal, folks.
It's gonna be you and me challenging Banks and Bailey.
Incredible.
Oh.
For the challenges for the tag titles.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Oh, okay. WWE is
gonna cash in on us.
WWE is happening as we're recording, Mikey. So, do you just want some payback news? We can talk about that, I guess. To close out, a little preview for Payback, I guess.
Yeah, let's hear what's going on in Raw right now.
So Randy Orton just in the gorilla position just punted Drew McIntyre in the head. So that's something. Randy Orton's also wearing a vest that says Legend Killer on the back and has a bunch of like markings, like tally marks on it.
I like it.
So I love that. But here we go. There's 4 matches that already have been announced for Payback. We have Bayley and Sasha Banks versus whoever for the tag team titles. I presume that's going to be decided soon. Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. That's the match that I wanted. We also have Drew McIntyre versus Orton for the WWE Championship again.
Okay.
And then just recently announced a no-holds-barred triple threat match for the Universal Championship. The Fiend defending it against Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns.
Aren't triple threats already no DQ or no holds barred?
Yes, but this is no holds barred, which has a distinct difference for some reason. I remember WWE put out like a press release at one point explaining what the difference between no DQ, no holds barred, unsanctioned matches. I think it's like the amount of weapons or something, or what specific weapons they could use. I don't quite know. But Mikey, thoughts on those 4 matches and a little bit of the preview for Payback?
Interesting so far. Let's see where this goes.
What match is sort of like you're excited for? What match are you like sort of on, or are you just all in general you're sort of on?
I'm excited for Orton McIntyre 2.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that match is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually legit surprised that match is happening on this pay-per-view. Because also the fact that it's happening makes me feel like we're going to have a definitive result.
For sure. If it's not, then I don't know what they're doing. But
that's fair.
I think this next one at Payback is definitely going to have a definitive result with one of them getting pinned.
Oh, and then what else is happening on Raw? This Raw is shaping up to be great. I'm just like looking at the previews. There's oh dang it, they did it.
What?
Tonight on Raw, while we're recording, Dominik and Rey Mysterio versus Rollins and Murphy. Dang it, that was my Payback.
There it is.
Which probably means we're going to get Rey Mysterio versus Rollins at Payback. Asuka versus Sasha Banks for the title in a lumberjack match.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this Raw, Jesus Christ. So that's I guess that's Payback. I'm excited for that triple threat match. That's Roman's first match since February, maybe early March. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely excited for it. Well, then there we go, Mikey. That is our review of SummerSlam. Like we said, coming out of the Thunderdome in WWE's Orlando, Florida. They don't own the city, but, they're there. So thank you, everybody, for listening to this special of reviewing WWE's SummerSlam pay-per-view. Like we said, if you like what we do here, you can subscribe to this podcast feed or this YouTube channel, depending on how you are watching it. You can listen to more bonus content, not even bonus content, but you can listen to our flagship show, which is Hit the Books every Friday, where Mikey and I write our own versions of Raw and SmackDown, where I am the Nostradamus of booking. So it's more important to listen to it because everything I book apparently comes true, allegedly. And we have great stuff on that show, so go check it out anyways. But also we have Wrestling with Statistics, which is on every Monday, which you can go listen to, where we sort of review, me and Craig Leese from Pro Wrestling Musings, review matches through the lens of stats and analytics. Very eye-opening. In that sense, because what's really interesting about the show, Mikey, is that it really the numbers tell a big story. It's not just numbers that you're like, oh, okay, whatever. You look at it, and when you dive deep into those numbers, it's sort of there is a story within there, and our job is to find that story. Anything for you to plug, Mikey?
I do want to give nothing to plug, but I do want to give a quick little teaser. Mikey's Indy 500 is coming back.
Hey,
but it's going to be a little bit different. More details to come.
Okay. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Mikey. You heard it here first, folks. Mikey's Indy 500 is around the corner. How far away from around the corner? Are we talking soon? Are we talking a month from now, or can you even say?
No timetable yet.
Okay, but it's sooner than it was.
Details are coming together, and it's definitely going to happen at some point.
I'm excited. So even all the more reason to subscribe to this podcast feed. We get new shows coming down the line. So get ready for that. And there was another show that I talked to Craig, but that's a little tease for later. But thank you, everybody. Like we said, thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of us reviewing SummerSlam. I guess if you want to listen to me and my thoughts on TakeOver, you can listen to the previous episode of Wrestling Statistics, where Craig and I reviewed and broke down matches from NXT TakeOver XXX. So you can go listen to that as well. So again, thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode. Not even this week's episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our SummerSlam review. Until next time, for Mikey, I have been Ryan Knightsey. Until then, have a nice day.